Sun's a-settin'. This is what I'm gonna sing. Sun's a-settin'. This is what I'm gonna sing. I feel the blues a-comin'. I wonder what the blues will bring. Drone in a drowsy, syncopated tune, rocking back and forth to a mellow croon, I heard a Negro play. Down on Lenox Avenue the other night, by the pale, dull pallor of a one-bulb light, he did a lazy sway. He did a lazy sway to the tune of those weary blues. With his ebony hands on each ivory key, he made that poor piano moan with melody. Oh, blues. Swaying to and fro on his rickety stool, he played that sad, raggy tune like a musical fool. Sweet blues, coming from a black man's soul. Oh, blues. A deep song voice with a melancholy tone, I heard that Negro sing, that old piano moan. Ain't got nobody in all this world, ain't got nobody but myself. I was going to quit my frowning and put my troubles on the shelf. Thump, thump, thump went his foot on the floor. He played a few chords, then he sang some more. I got the weary blues, I can't be satisfied. Got the weary blues, I can't be satisfied. I ain't happy no more, and I wish that I had died. Far into the night, he crooned that tune. The stars went out, and so did the moon. The singer stopped playing and went to bed, while the weary blues echoed through his head. He slept like a rock, or a man that's dead.
Daddy, you do not do any more black shoe in which I have lived like a foot for 30 years, poor and white, barely daring to breathe or chew. Daddy, I have had to kill you. You died before I had time, marble heavy, a bag full of God, ghastly statue with one gray toe big as a Frisco seal, and a head in the freakish Atlantic, where it pours bean green over blue in the waters off beautiful Nauset. I used to pray to recover you, ach du, in the German tongue in the Polish town, scraped flat by the roller of wars, wars, wars. But the name of the town is common. My Polack friend says there are a dozen or two. So I never could tell where you put your foot, your root. I never could talk to you. The tongue stuck in my jaw. It's stuck in a barbed wire snare. Ich. I could hardly speak. I thought every German was you. And the language obscene, an engine, chuffing me off like a Jew to Dachau, Auschwitz, Belsen. I began to talk like a Jew. I think I may well be a Jew. The snows of the Tyrol, the clear beer of Vienna, are not very pure or true. With my gypsy ancestress and my weird luck, and my tarok pack and my tarok pack, I may be a bit of a Jew. I have always been scared of you, with your Luftwaffe, your gobbledygoo, and your neat moustache, and your Aryan eye, bright blue. Panzerman, Panzerman, oh you, not God but a swastika, so black no sky could squeak through. Every woman adores a fascist, the boot in the face, the brute heart of a brute like you. You stand at the blackboard, Daddy, in the picture I have of you, a cleft in your chin instead of your foot. But no less a devil for that, no, not any less the black man who bit my pretty red heart in two. I was 10 when they buried you. At 20 I tried to die, and get back to you. I thought even the bones would do. But they pulled me out of the sack, and they stuck me together with glue. And then I knew what to do. I made a model of you, a man in black with a Mein Kampf look, and a love of the rack and the screw, and I said, I do. So, Daddy, I'm finally through. The black telephone's off at the root, the voices just can't worm through. If I've killed one man, I've killed two. The vampire who said he was you, and drank my blood for a year, 7 years if you want to know. Daddy, you can lie back now. There's a stake in your fat black heart, and the villagers never liked you. They are dancing and stamping on you. They always knew it was you. Daddy, Daddy, you bastard, I'm through.
You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Just because I walk as if I have oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my sassiness upset you? Don't take it so hard just because I laugh, as if I have gold mines digging in my own backyard. You can shoot me with your words, you can cut me with your lies, you can kill me with your hatefulness, but just like life, I rise. Does my sexiness offend you? Oh. Does it come as a surprise that I dance as if I have diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain I rise. A black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling and bearing in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak miraculously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slave. And so, wow. There I go.
These are part of a series of memories of my childhood and youth. This one, perhaps my first coherent memory, called My Mother's R and R, referring both to rest and recreation, and to Romulus and Remus. She lay late in bed. Maybe she was sick, though she was never sick. There were pink flowers in full blossom in the wallpaper, and motes like bits of something ground up, churning in sun rays from the windows. We climbed into bed with her. Perhaps she needed comforting, and she was alone, and she let us take a breast each out of the loose slip. "Let's make believe we're babies," Derry said. We put the large pink flowers at the ends of those lax breasts into our mouths and sucked with enthusiasm. She laughed and seemed to enjoy our play, perhaps intoxicated by our pleasure or frustrated by the failure of the milk to flow. We sucked harder. Probably our bodies writhed, our eyes flared. Maybe she could feel our teeth. Abruptly, she took back her breasts and sent us from the bed, two small, hungry boys, inflamed and driven off by the she-wolf. But we had got our nip, and in the empire we would found, we would taste every woman and expel each one who came to resemble her. Hitchhiker. After a moment, the driver, a salesman for Travelers Insurance heading for Topeka, said, "What was that?" I, in my Navy uniform, still useful for hitchhiking though the war was over, said, "I think you hit somebody." I knew he had. The round face opening in surprise as the man bounced off the fender had given me a look as he swept past. "Why didn't you say something?" The salesman stepped hard on the brakes. "I thought you saw," I said. I didn't know why. It came to me I could have sat next to this man all the way to Topeka without saying a word about it. He opened the car door and looked back. I did the same. At the roadside, in the glow of a streetlight, was a body. A man was bending over it. For an instant it was myself in a time to come, bending over the body of my father. The man stood and shouted at us, "Forget it, he gets hit all the time." Oh. A bum. We were happy to forget it. The rest of the way into dawn in Kansas, when the salesman dropped me off, we did not speak, except as I got out, I said, "Thanks," and he said, "Don't mention it."
Rihanna is making music with Chris Brown again, and my grandmother is still watching over me. Us, black women, like samples at a grocery store set out to be picked over and never fully paid for. Us, black women with vaginas that still smell like unwanted mixed babies, blood, and 400 years of forced entries. And this nigga asks you, can he hit it? As if it hasn't already been beaten. Outkast goes to court with Rosa Parks. Ludacris makes a diss record about Oprah. And a room full of upstanding black men say, hell, we don't know what happened in that car. Rihanna may have given Chris Brown a reason to beat her down. I take it you don't have little sisters. And there must be shrapnel in your back to replace the spine that once made you a man. See, I'm not mad at you for your opinion. I'm just hoping we are never two pop stars alone in a car and you get mad at me for mine. I can still hear the cries of all the babies that had to get left behind by their own mothers. I got the tongue of Harriet Tubman, can still taste the blood of all the wounds she licked to get us here, and we are constantly trying to get back there, and you say that she don't like her own people because she built a school in Africa. Nigga, you must have forgotten your roots. Do you think that we only exist here? I've never seen you leave a penny in a gas station. You couldn't imagine the pain of raising a Black Panther only to hear your son calling you bitches and hoes on the radio. You are no Athena Shakur. Your jaw couldn't walk a Miles Davis inside the mouth of Cicely Tyson, and you question the charity of a Black woman while this man asks, can he hit it as if it hasn't already been beaten? We have been running this world since it started, have yet to receive a day off of our feet. There are no holidays dedicated to us, just a bunch of poems used to undress everything but our minds, millions of songs played to make us feel like we were born to be called everything but our names, and cemeteries dressed up like videos, burying our images every other TV station. We get one Michelle every 44 years. We get one African-American teen pregnancy every 44 minutes, and Lil Wayne says he wants to fuck every girl in the world. Sarah Good invents beds. Trey Songz said we don't think he invented sex. How disconnected we are, yet hanging from the same umbilical cords we clipped you from. Stop asking, can you hit it? Take your mother flowers for no reason. Stop making excuses for you putting your hands on us. Stop putting your hands on us. Stop running out on us. Stop running over us. Stop treating us like samples at a grocery store. Do not touch us if you have no plans on making this home.
Garland, Nebraska is about 20 miles away from Lincoln and has a population of about 260 people. And we live about 3 miles from Garland, where there's just the population of my wife and I and 2 dogs. And this is a poem that describes a spring on my place in late spring. One of the National Guard's F-4 jet fighters, making a long approach to the Lincoln airfield, comes howling in over the treetops, its shadow flapping along behind it like the skin of a sheep, setting the coyotes crying back in the woods and then the dogs. And then there is a sudden quiet that rings a little, the way an empty pan rings when you wipe it dry. And then it is Sunday again, a summer Sunday afternoon, and beyond my window the Russian olives sigh foolishly into the air through the throats of their flowers, and bluegills nibble the clouds afloat on the pond. Under the windmill, a cluster of peonies huddles, bald-headed now and standing in piles of old papers. Beneath its lipstick, the mouth of the tulip is twisted. Spring moves on her run-down, broken toe shoes into the summer, trailing green ribbons of silk. I have been reading for hours or intending to read, but over the bee song of the book, I could faintly hear my neighbor up the road a quarter mile, calling out to his daughter, and hear her calling back, not in words, but in musical notes. And now that they have fallen quiet, and I have listened long into their absence, I have forgotten my place in the world. But the world knows my place, and stands and holds a chair for me, here on these acres near Garland, Nebraska. This April, in good health, I entered my 66th year. The perfect porcelain bells of Lily of the Valley ring into the long, shy ears of the ferns, and the horsefly sits in the sun and twirls his mustache and brushes the dust from his satin sleeves.
And how grateful we are to the President and Mrs. Obama for hosting this, for drawing attention to poetry in America. I'm only sorry that so many of my fellow poets could not be here to join us tonight. Well, not really. It's important that I'm here. One of my poet friends phoned me earlier in the week and said, you know, you're going to make so many poets jealous going to the White House. And I said, well, isn't that the whole point of writing? I mean, And then he reminded me that the point of writing was to marry truth and beauty. So hats off to him, but he's not here either. So. Well, I was told originally that I could read only one poem, but I pulled former poet laureate privilege, and I've extended it to 2 poems. So it's customary toward the end of poetry readings to give what is called the 2-poem warning. But I'm going to start by giving you the 2-poem warning, so you've been warned. The first poem is called Forgetfulness, and it's a meditation on forgetting, and it begins with something called literary amnesia, that is, forgetting books you've read. Forgetfulness. The name of the author is the first to go, followed obediently by the title, the plot, the heartbreaking conclusion, the entire novel, which suddenly becomes one you have never read, never even heard of. It is as if one by one the memories you used to harbor decided to retire to the southern hemisphere of the brain, to a little fishing village where there are no phones. Long ago you kissed the names of the 9 muses goodbye, and you watched the quadratic equation pack its bag. And even now, as you memorize the order of the planets, something else is slipping away, a state flower perhaps, the address of an uncle, the capital of Paraguay. Whatever it is you are struggling to remember, it is not poised on the tip of your tongue, not even lurking in some obscure corner of your spleen. It has floated away down a dark mythological river whose name begins with an L, as far as you can recall. Well on your own way to oblivion, where you will join those who have forgotten even how to swim and how to ride a bicycle. No wonder you rise in the middle of the night to look up the date of a famous battle in a book on war. No wonder the moon in the window seems to have drifted out of a love poem that you used to know by heart. And this is a poem about something children do in the summertime at camp, and it's called The Lanyard. The other day, as I was ricocheting slowly off the pale blue walls of this room, bouncing from typewriter to piano, from bookshelf to an envelope lying on the floor, I found myself in the L section of the dictionary, where my eyes fell upon the word lanyard. No cookie nibbled by a French novelist could send one more suddenly into the past, a past where I sat at a workbench at a camp by a deep Adirondack lake, learning how to braid thin plastic strips into a lanyard, a gift from my mother. I had never seen anyone use a lanyard, or wear one if that's what you did with them, but that did not keep me from crossing strand over strand again and again, until I had made a boxy red and white lanyard for my mother. She gave me life and milk from her breasts, and I gave her a lanyard. She nursed me in many a sick room, lifted teaspoons of medicine to my lips, set cold face cloths on my forehead, then led me out into the airy light and taught me to walk and swim, and I in turn presented her with a lanyard. Here are thousands of meals, she said, and here is clothing and a good education. And here is your lanyard, I replied, which I made with a little help from a counselor. Here is a breathing body and a beating heart, strong legs, bones and teeth, and 2 clear eyes to read the world, she whispered. And here, I said, is the lanyard I made at camp. And here, I wish to say to her now, is a smaller gift, not the archaic truth that you can never repay your mother, but the rueful admission that when she took the two-tone lanyard from my hands, I was as sure as a boy could be that this useless, worthless thing I wove out of boredom would be enough to make us even. Thank you.
Advertising. Quality, values, style, service, selection, convenience, economy, savings, performance, experience, hospitality, low rates, friendly service, name brands, easy terms, affordable prices, money-back guarantee, free installation. Free admission, free appraisal, free alterations, free delivery, free estimates, free home trial, and free parking. No cash? No problem. No kidding. No fuss, no muss, no risk, no obligation, no red tape, no hidden charges, no down payment, no entry fee, no purchase necessary. No one will call on you, no payments or interest till December, and no parking. Limited time only, though, so act now, order today, send no money, offer good while supplies last, 2 to a customer, each item sold separately, batteries not included, mileage may vary. All sales are final, allows 6 weeks for delivery, some items not available, some assembly required, some restrictions may apply. Shop by mail, order by phone. Try it in your home, get one for your car. All entries become our property. Employees not eligible, entry fees not refundable. Local restrictions apply. Void where prohibited, except in Indiana. So come on in for a free demonstration and a free consultation with our friendly professional staff. Our courteous and knowledgeable sales representatives will help you make a selection that's just right for you and just right for your budget. And say, don't forget to pick up your free gift. A classic, deluxe, custom, designer, luxury, prestige, high quality, premium, select, gourmet pocket flashlight. And if you act now, we'll include an extra added free complimentary bonus gift, a classic, deluxe, custom, designer, luxury, prestige, high-quality, premium, select, gourmet, leather-style wallet with detachable keychain and a pencil holder. It's our way of saying thank you. And if you're not completely satisfied, you pay nothing. Simply return the unused portion for a full refund, no questions asked. It's our way of saying thank you. Keep your free gift. Actually, it's our way of saying bend over just a little further and let us stick this big dick into your ass a little bit deeper.
This is Charles Bukowski. Well, just let me sit here and drink beer. You want some poems? Beg me. Amplitude, do you hear me? All right. I look good? That's better. Okay, let's get started. What the hell? Come on. Let's collect our money and get the hell out of here and really make it. Number 1, the rat. With one punch, at the age of 16 and a half, I knocked out my father. A cruel, Chinese bastard with bad breath. And I didn't go home for some time, only now and then to try to get $1 from dear Mama. It was 1937 in Los Angeles, and it was a hell of a Vienna. I ran with these older guys, but for them it was the same, mostly breathing hard air and robbing gas stations that didn't have any money. And a few lucky among us worked part-time as Western Union messenger boys. We slept in rented rooms that weren't rented, and we drank ale and wine with the shades down, being quiet. And then awakening the whole building with a fist fight, breaking mirrors and chairs and lamps, then running down the stairway just before the police arrived. Some of us soldiers of the future, running through those empty, starving streets and alleys of Los Angeles. And all of us getting together later in Pete's room, a small cube of space under a stairway. There we were, packed in there, without women, without cigarettes, without anything to drink, while the rich pawed away at their many choices, and the young girls left them, the same girls who spit at our shadows as we walked past. It was a hell of a Vienna. 3 of us under that stairway were killed in World War II. Another one is now a manager of a mattress factory. Me, I'm 30 years older. The town is 4 or 5 times as big, but just as rotten. And the girls still spit on my shadow. Another war is building for another reason. I can hardly get a job now for the same reason I couldn't then. I don't know anything. I can't do anything. Sex? Well, just the old ones knock on my door after midnight. I can't sleep, and they see the lights and are curious. The old ones, their husbands no longer want them. Their children are gone. If they show me enough good leg, the legs go last, I go to bed with them. So the old women bring me love, and I smoke their cigarettes as they talk. And then we go to bed again, and I bring them love. And they feel good and talk until the sun comes up, then we sleep. It's a hell of a Paris.